Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Infamous, and it is Saturday. Fuck, what's today, Aaron?
Day is Saturday, August 19th.
Yeah, August 19th. NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3, and this show was pretty lit. We started off the night with Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling, versus Andrade Cien Almas, which he has a manager now, and she is damn, I forgot her name, but she's basically Austin Aries' wife. So that's kind of crazy. He left WWE, and then they signed her as a valet manager, whatever you want to call it. And you think she's fine?
Hell yeah. I
Austin
didn't see
Aries
all of that match. I
is
came in
a
late.
lucky man. That match was pretty lit. Johnny Gargano's first match, as a singles competitor, as him and Ciampa are no longer tag team champions, no longer DIY, and Ciampa is out with a knee injury, I think, and he won't be back until probably like mid 2018, and then him and Johnny Gargano will start their rivalry with each other. But getting into the match, Gargano and Almas, it started off kind of slow and shit. Like the crowd wasn't really in it until like mid match. It started picking up. Johnny Gargano hit his usual springboard spear through the ropes on Almas for a 2 count. Almas hit his double running knees in the corner for a crazy 2 count. And I was like, dang, Gargano's gonna lose his first match. Gargano had his version of a crossface locked in on Almas, and he almost got him to tap until Almas powered out and like flung him into the turnbuckle, and he was gonna go for the double knees. Johnny countered it, threw him Andrade face first into the turnbuckle. He was setting up for maybe like a running super kick or something, and the Andrade's like manager threw a shirt in the ring, and I was like, what the fuck? And it was a DIY like old shirt that him and Ciampa used to wear, and then that distracted Gargano, and I almost got him in that arm trap DDT and pinned him 1, 2, 3.
How's his name sound like hummus?
Who? Oh, Andrade Cien Almas. I forgot what
Yeah.
CN means. I think it means zero, or no, not never mind. It doesn't mean zero. I forgot what it means. I looked it up before. But yeah, Johnny Wrestling taking an L on his first uh pay per view match as a single star. Next up, we have got the tag team match. Sanity versus the Authors of Pain. This was kind of like randomly thrown together, as both of them are heel teams, but yeah, I guess Sanity doesn't really count as heels or faces because they're all like insane. So you can either like them or don't. Originally it was supposed to be Killian Dane and Alexander Wolf taking on the Authors of Pain, but it was ended up being Eric Young and Alexander. The Authors of Pain came out in some new like wrestling gear. That shit looked cool until the camera zoomed in on it, and the skulls looked like Ninja Turtle heads from the new Ninja Turtles movie. So yeah, that kind of ruined it. But otherwise, the attire looked pretty cool, like a whole green SWAT theme going on. Aaron, did you like that shit?
Yeah, that shit was cool.
Uh,
Fuck, I
in
just got killed.
into the match, the Authors of Pain did their whole, we're gonna beat the crap out of you with our power. Killian Dane got the crap beaten out of him. And then mid match, Sanity's like craziness came into play. Eric Young got up on the apron as Wolf was about to tag in Killian Dane, and he was like, "No, no, no, get down, tag me in." And so Eric Young got in the match. Authors of Pain started beating his ass, and I'm like, why did you tag yourself in? You had a better chance of winning by putting the freaking huge dude in the match. So Eric Young got his ass beat. Nikki Cross jumps up on the top rope because the match came down and um, the Authors of Pain went on the outside. Alexander Wolf went flying over the top rope, crashing down to Authors of Pain. And then Eric Young did one as well. Nikki Cross was like, I'm crazy. I want to join in on the fun. She jumps on one of the Authors of Pain and he catches her. And I don't know when they set up this table. There was a table that was laying like next to a barricade propped up. He caught Nikki Cross, and then Killian Dane like did a freaking 10 hut football stance, ran and did a cross body and killed Nikki Cross in the process. She got squashed between one of the Authors of
Yeah, she
Pain
wasn't smart.
and fucking Killian Dane. That's like 600 pounds, like just being in between that. She died. That shit was crazy. The crowd exploded. They were like, holy shit. And then, meanwhile, inside the ring, the other Author of Pain was by his lonesome, and Killian Dane and Eric Young picked this man apart. Did that like I forgot what it's called, but um, Wolf had him up on his shoulders. Eric Young springboards off the rope and hits a neck breaker, and Sanity are your new tag team champions for NXT. The Authors of Pain might be moving up to the main roster because shakeup after SummerSlam. Aaron, do you see them going to Raw or SmackDown?
SmackDown.
Uh, could they be? Well, I
Raw
don't
don't
know.
need no more
Raw,
tag team
Raw
titles.
doesn't even have. I would send them Raw because Raw doesn't even have any tag teams. The Raw has the Hardys. I don't. I'm not counting Dean and Seth Rollins because they're not an actual tag team. They got the Club, Gallows and Anderson. So that's only three. The Revival are out on injury. They haven't done shit with Rhino and Slater. So yeah, only 3, 4 tag teams.
Rhino and Slater are back.
Yeah, they put them on Raw in that last Superstar shakeup. Oh, and Cesaro and Sheamus. There's like 5 tag teams, but they only use like 3 of them. Uh, so yeah, I'd probably put them on SmackDown. Even though, like, I guess SmackDown has the same number of tag teams too. They got the Usos, New Day, Breezango, um, the Hype Bros, and yeah, that's it. Unless you want to count Sami Zayn and Ty Dillinger, but they only teamed up once. But back to NXT. Sanity are your new NXT Tag Team Champions. And then after they were celebrating, Red Dragon, the team of Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, who just got signed to NXT some weeks ago, came out through the crowd, beat the crap out of Killian Dane and Eric Young, and I was hyped for that shit. If you watch New Japan or Ring of Honor, the Red Dragon has been one of the top teams in Ring of Honor for probably the last 3 years, I would say. And now they're finally getting their chance on the big stage of WWE. So yeah, and they're gonna play a part in the show later on as well. Um, And do you know about Red Dragon or no?
Um, I forgot their names. I didn't know that was their names, but I heard of them before, like the people that was fighting it. So I don't know. I guess you could say I
All right.
heard of them. I saw them a few times.
Um, the next match, I guess you would call this a grudge match. It was kind of randomly put together as well. I'm mad they didn't show the video package. Aleister Black versus Hideo Itami. Um, if you seen that little clip on WWE.com, it was a few weeks ago. Aleister Black was walking out of the arena, and Hideo like yelled some random shit in Chinese or whatever the heck he is. Um, I mean in Japanese. Runs at this man. I was about to say Tyler Black. Fucking Aleister Black throws his suitcase, like swerves out of the way, and then like kicks Hideo against a garage, and then security guards and shit coming to break that shit up. It was low key like a little kung fu flick. Aleister Black, like he was in a suit, but it kind of looked like he was in one of those like fucking karate fuck, I forgot what you call those things, but the karate outfits that they wear and shit. And then yeah, so that just randomly kicked off him versus Aleister Black. I was thinking Hideo was gonna win this match because you know they're trying to push him as a heel now. Um, you know he wins this match, and then you know he beats the crap out of Aleister Black after the match, and then fucking Cassius Ono comes back to save Aleister Black, and then they continue their rivalry because Hideo took him out with a GTS on the steps a couple of weeks ago at NXT, and we haven't really seen him since. But Hideo and Aleister Black had a physical match. You know the
Yeah, that
striking
shit was
style
nice.
of both men. Um, Aleister Black somewhere in the match got busted open his nose, and then they were like, he could have a broken nose, but his nose wasn't like swelling up or anything. So I don't know. He might have just got some type of, you know, something busted in there, but it didn't look too serious. He was gushing though, and Hideo was beating the crap out of him. Um, at the end of the match, Hideo went for the go to sleep. Aleister Black countered him, and then for some reason, Hideo went to the corner to do something. Maybe he was trying to do that running knee that Daniel Bryan stole from him. Either way, Aleister Black ducked whatever the heck Hideo was gonna do, spinning kick, aka Black Mass, and Aleister Black is still undefeated in NXT, and I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with Hideo Itami. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think the crowd really likes him anymore. I mean, he's been there for 3 years, and two of those three were him being injured and shit. I mean, that sucks, but I don't know. I don't really like. He's cool and all, but I don't really like him anymore. Like when he first came in NXT. Uh, on to the next match, the women's match. Aaron, what did you think of the women's match?
That was a good match. I only saw like half of that shit too. I ended up I forgot what I went to go do.
The undefeated champion Asuka, who's uh been reigning for 500 and something days, if I'm not mistaken, or that's her undefeated streak. Either way, she's undefeated as women's champion. She has a long ass undefeated streak. She beat Goldberg. And I think she's in second place for tying like the longest reign of any women's champion which it's either reign or undefeated streak, and I think May Young is first, or it might be Fabulous Moolah. Either way, Oscar's like second or third place when it comes to that shit. And the this match was crazy, and I didn't expect it. They were going back and forth. Oscar started
Oh, you thought she
targeting.
was just gonna get smashed.
I
Hmm.
thought like, okay, Ember Moon was gonna come back and win. Uh, Oscar started targeting Ember Moon's injured shoulder that she injured when she threw her out of the ring in that. I think it was like a battle royal. Yeah, it was a battle royal to see who was gonna be number one contender to fight her, and she threw Ember Moon out of the ring, and she went flying into the guardrail, and Ember Moon got injured. Her shoulder got injured, and she had to sit out. Um, fuck, I forgot what NXT Takeover that was. But either way, it was like Oscar versus Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross, and the triple threat, it was okay, kind of botchy, but Oscar still won, and now Ember Moon gets her second shot at Oscar. And Oscar's being dominant as always. Ember Moon's fighting back. Her arm's still being worked over, and then um, Ember Moon starts to get her stride going. Eventually, hits the eclipse, and the whole crowd like pops because last time we seen her hit Oscar with that, she got like dropped, and then it was like, oh shit, this could be it. That could be the one move that could actually stop Oscar. And Oscar kicked out at a close ass 3 count. The crowd was hyped, and then freaking Ember Moon was pissed off. She went back up to the top rope like she was gonna go for it again. Oscar pulls the ref in front of her to like save her from getting hit with it again, and everyone's like, no, what, fuck this shit. She jumps, the ref dives out of the way. Ember hits the cross body on Oscar. Oscar like rolled her over and tried to steal it again by grabbing her tights, but the ref seen it and he was like, nope, nope, I'm not counting that shit. Oscar's pissed off, and she's yelling at the ref, and then she gets super kicked out of nowhere for a close ass 3 count, and the crowd is still going crazy. Ember Moon's like, what the fuck? And then Ember goes over to her. Oscar's like playing possum. She gets her in an armbar, and Ember Moon doesn't tap out. She gets out of that, and then Oscar gets her in the Oscar lock, and Ember Moon tries to fight out of it, but she can't, and she ends up tapping out, and Oscar is still undefeated. And after the match, Ember Moon gets a standing ovation, uh, kind of like the same way they did Becky Lynch after her and Sasha had their great match back a few years ago on NXT. So I don't think they're gonna move Ember up to the main roster anytime soon. She has to get the NXT Women's Championship sometime, and the way they're going with Asuka, I don't know what they're gonna do with her either. Like, it'll probably play out after this Mae Young Classic because they'll probably sign 75% of those women to NXT, and then I guess they'll see what they'll do with the Women's Championship. But yeah, Asuka retains. Ember Moon gets a standing ovation from the crowd, and then there's a random ass commercial. And now we get to the main event: Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Roode for the NXT title. Uh, One question: where the hell do they go with Roderick Strong now? Because Bobby Roode was like, okay, if you beat Drew McIntyre, I'll give you a title shot after Takeover. Like he was overlooking Drew McIntyre. Well, that's done. So I guess they're not gonna have a title match, but Strong still wants to get his revenge on Bobby Roode for like screwing him time and time again. But the title match, Aaron, did you watch all of that or did you catch a little bit?
Yeah, I watched all that shit. That shit was fire.
Okay,
That
Bobby
shit was
Roode,
nice.
being his glorious self, and then like kind of to start off the match, he almost hits the glorious DDT on Drew. I'll keep saying fucking Drew Mac. Yeah, okay, Drew McIntyre. I'm thinking that his name's fucking Galloway from the other shit. Drew McIntyre, and then he's in the corner, and Bobby Roode does this little glorious taunt, and then he's like, "I was this close," and he's like, "I'm in your head, man." And then they fight more. They brawl to the outside, and Drew McIntyre like hits a crazy like gut suplex on Bobby Roode, and his spine like cracked off the ring apron. And I was like, damn, that shit looked like it hurt.
Yeah, that
And
shit did.
then they go back into the ring. And then somewhere along the lines, Drew McIntyre starts targeting the neck and head area of Drew McIntyre, and that's playing into the match. He keeps beating on him and beating on him, and then did Bobby Roode go for a fisherman suplex anywhere in this match?
No, I don't think he did.
Okay. And then towards the end of the match, Bobby Roode finally hits the glorious DDT. Uh, I think he hit it once before, and then Drew McIntyre kicked out. Also, Bobby Roode kicks out of the Claymore once before. But towards the end, Bobby Roode glorious DDT, and then instead of pinning him, he tries to do the same thing he did to Nakamura. He tries to roll him over and go for a double, and then Drew McIntyre gets out of it, headbutts him, backs up in the corner, Claymore to Bobby Roode, and we have a new NXT champion in Drew McIntyre. I didn't expect that at all. I thought Bobby Roode was gonna retain. Aaron, did you think he was gonna retain or lose it?
I thought he was gonna lose it.
Uh, so I don't know where they go with him now. Maybe he's getting called up after he finishes his little rivalry with Roderick Strong, but Drew McIntyre is celebrating in the ring. He's like headbutting the title and kissing it. And he's like, "Damn, I can't believe I actually won this shit." The crowd's going crazy for him, and
I started
then
seeing like the logos and shit. I thought it
yeah,
was over
they
after that.
put the logos up like it was about to go off, and then out of nowhere, the crowd like gets even louder. Red Dragon, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish are on the corner, just like they weren't really talking to him. They were just like standing there, and Drew McIntyre's like, "What the hell are you guys doing out here?" So they pan to the corner with Drew, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly. The crowd starts going crazy from the other side of the arena, and people are looking like, what the hell's going on over there? People are screaming, and then out of nowhere comes Adam Cole, baby. He beats the crap out of Drew McIntyre, and Red Dragon joins in, and then Red Dragon's holding Drew McIntyre's prone, limp body. Adam Cole hits him with a super kick, and then he goes over, grabs the NXT title, holds it up, and then drops it, and all you see is uh, Red Dragon and Kyle O'Reilly standing over the body of Drew McIntyre, and the Ring of Honor invasion has begun. If you don't know about that shit, there was a report by some credible source that reports news and rumors and they were talking about there's going to be a Ring of Honor stable uh, coming to NXT because they signed Red Dragon. They just signed Adam Cole like a week
That shit
ago.
about to be lit.
They signed Leo Rush, who was the 2016 Ring of Honor top prospect, and he was like putting on crazy ass matches. He's only been wrestling for 3 years, but he is uh, probably gonna be one of the top guys in NXT if they let him go all the way. Um, Donovan Dijak, if you never heard of him, I think he's like 7 foot. He might be 7'1". He might be just straight up 7 feet tall, and that's not like extending it because they say Big Cass is like 7 foot tall, but he's only like 6'11". But this guy's legit 7 foot, and when you see this man in the ring, he is crazy. He can do like he has the size, he's got the weight, he's got the power and all that. But this man can do moonsaults. When's the last time you seen a 7 foot tall dude doing like moonsaults? And I'm not talking about just off the rope. He can do springboards and shit. And that shit is crazy. So he's gonna be somebody to look out for too. So I wonder if they're actually gonna do that, or it's just gonna be Red Dragon and Adam Cole. Which is kind of crazy because Cole and Kyle O'Reilly have their past history from when they both broke into Ring of Honor, and they were a tag team. They broke up, and then they feuded over the world title, going back and forth with each other. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Triple H is signing all these like indie guys to NXT, and NXT is basically becoming like the indie promotion to go to if you can't get on Raw or SmackDown, go to NXT because that shit is lit. And on while we're talking about indies, Daniel Bryan might be coming back to wrestling in 2018, maybe 2019. Um, Even though he wasn't cleared by WWE doctor, he was cleared by like I think 3 or 4 other ones. And then his wife Brie went on some interview, and she was like, if Brian like goes back to wrestle, I'm not gonna freak out or anything. I'm gonna be okay with it. And I forgot what this thing he's doing, that like heals your body from uh like very severe injuries and ailments. But it's something, but it's gonna take at least a couple of more months. Well, not a couple, like 8 or 9 more for him to be like fully done with the treatment. And he'll probably leave WWE and either go to like Japan, or I don't think he'll go to TNA. That's just ass. Why the fuck would you go to TNA? He might go back to Ring of Honor, but Daniel Bryan might be wrestling, 6 to 8 months from now. But as for WWE, this pay per view was a success. Um,
Yeah, that
I'd
shit was fire.
say I'd say the best match. Uh, I'd say the women's match was the best match, and then it would have to go tag team, and then the world NXT title match, and then in that order, and then everything else was pretty solid. But as far as WWE goes, let's see if SummerSlam could beat NXT, which on most pay per views, they'll have like NXT and then the main roster pay per view. NXT always more than likely blows the main roster out of the water when it comes to like putting on great matches. But we'll see tomorrow, as me and Aaron are gonna do a review for that shit as well. So stay on the lookout for that, and we're out of here. Peace.
Peace out.